go.
Alright, and we are back with Snowymoogle with Scooby-Doo, Who's Watching Who, DS levels only. I am very happy to say that we did meet the touchscreen incentive. So let's give it up for Snowy. I'm really excited for this. Good luck and have fun.
Hey, hi, I'm Snowymoogle, and I'll be your runner today for Scooby-Doo Who's Watching Who DS levels only. And I also got with me my virtual couch, if he wants to introduce himself.
Yeah, my name is Coley. I speedrun a game called Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, which is where I met Snowy, and I'm honored to be co-commentating with him today.
Okay, so we should be ready to get started. I'll just give a quick countdown, and we'll head into our first level. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so I'll explain a little bit what levels only means in a little bit. But right now, this is Scooby-Doo Who's Watching Who. This is a platformer released in 2006 for the Nintendo DS. But before we actually get into any level, we actually have to talk to 3 NPCs. Every world in this game has 3 suspects for who the culprit might be and who's terrorizing that world. And we gotta talk to all of them before we actually enter the level itself. So talking to all of them here, it costs like 40 seconds per world we have to do it in. But no big deal. And we're heading into the actual first level of the game, Ocean Land. So right off the bat, we're going to see Scooby's 2 main forms of movement. One is this charge attack, where Scooby just kind of slides across the ground. And the other main form of movement is just jumping, because Scooby's jump or air movement is a little bit faster than his ground speed. And Scooby can actually maintain both jumps even if he runs off a platform. So it's a surprisingly versatile way to get around. Scooby's charge attack is a little bit unfortunate because it is his actual fastest form of movement, but because this game's on a DS, you only can do it in 8 directions because it's just on a D-pad. So you can see there's a lot of curved hallways like this, where it becomes a lot more difficult to do. We're gonna just jump past these sharks. Enemies are kind of just like a little obstacle to get around. Gonna jump on a little invisible ledge right here. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna go around. That can be a little bit finicky. So you can also notice the field of view in this game. There's a lot of basically just memorizing where platforms are, because the field of view is not too great. We're just gonna jump past here, not getting hit there, and make our way through the first little bit of the aquarium section. Now there's a oh my god, okay, that was close. Another thing with Scooby's charge attack is you can essentially only do it on flat surfaces, because if you do it on any kind of slope, Scooby will basically just grind to a halt. And it's just it's not too fun. It's definitely just sad how it is essentially his fastest form of movement, but he's just there's so many sections where we're just not gonna do it, and you're just gonna see us jump a lot more than that. Now, heading out of here, this is the first main section of the level, and we're going to use, remember this is a DS game, so we're going to use the touchscreen controls to take this elevator up here to the top. I'm going to make sure I hit this checkpoint. I accidentally missed the last one, which is a very good thing we did not die. Checkpoint spacing is like very funny in this game, with just like how close or far away some of them are. Little skip right there. And making our way up here. There's actually quite a few cycles in this game that we're going to try and make, and one of them is right here. We barely made it onto these boxes in time. And every time we see that little newsman with the like camera and all the tech equipment, that is a checkpoint. Gonna be very careful not to fall off here. Yeah, enemies are just kind of an obstacle to go around. Don't really have to worry about them. You can see the shark coming out of the water and some of the tentacles in the aquarium. There's quite a few of those kind of obstacles that try and hit you out of the water in Ocean Land. And funny thing is, I'm not gonna intentionally try and go for it because it is a little bit risky, but they can sometimes act as platforms. So in case I didn't time a jump entirely correctly, I might be able to refresh my jump off of one of them. Now, normally we'd skip this checkpoint, but for marathon safety, I'm going to grab that. And right here, field of view isn't great, but I'm just going to jump all the way down here. Luckily, did not fall through the floor. That can happen. Happened to me the other day. Can be a little bit scary. There's like so many times when I run this game and find something like new every time. I'm gonna quickly grab just a little jump right there, skip going all the way around, and can make that checkpoint. Funny thing is, the checkpoint hitboxes are extremely tall, so even if I missed that jump, I would die and still hit the checkpoint. And there's another checkpoint right here anyways, just again with how funny the checkpoint spacing is, with how frequent or infrequent they can be. And I'm gonna let Polly explain this section, because this is actually one of the hardest sections of the run.
Yeah, so this could be a difficult section for some of the speedrunners that run this game. And basically, normally when there's like a platform like this, you normally want something like a drop shadow to see where Scooby's gonna land. And as you can see, there is no drop shadow, so sometimes it feels like that you are just blindly jumping and just praying that you can land on a platform. And this is also a good time to mention that we go through these levels in this category from the most difficult to the least difficult. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we go in like backwards order of the levels. We kind of go in this mixed-matched way. And so with this mixture of not having a drop shadow, moving platforms, and just like the sharks and the piranhas flying up at you, it can become a little bit difficult at times. So far, Snowy is doing a pretty good job dodging everything and platforming. Get the full health, got the checkpoint, really nice. There's a part up here that can be a little bit tricky, with a ton of just enemies flying out of the water, and barrels, which are very, very small and thin platforms. So here we go.
That turtle right there, it's weird. The turtles that like kind of ferry us across, we don't have to worry about those, or we have to worry about those, but the ones that just go up and down, we can actually just jump on those without having to worry at all.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, and
Oh my god. Okay. Luckily that's not losing too much time, but that just goes to show how much these like obstacles can like disrupt your vertical position and how hard it can be to readjust. So I'm gonna play this safe now.
Yeah. And we're almost through.
Okay, we're through with the difficult section. That's actually like one of the hardest sections of the run, hence why we do Ocean Land first. And we're not done with the barrels yet, and this upcoming section we're kind of gonna scale our way around the side of... Oh my god. We're gonna scale our way around the side of the ship here. And there's another really jank section. There's going to be these platforms with these cannons coming out of them, but we don't have to wait for them. The platforms are coming out of, we can just jump on those anyways, so don't have to actually wait for them. This next one here not that one. This one upcoming that can be a little bit jank. Okay, good. Sometimes you can fall right through that one and then still be able to jump up with invisible ledges. Definitely not something I want to see because that is very scary, but yeah, barely making that cycle. And we're gonna talk to Shaggy here, and we're gonna see our first boss fight of the run. So we're gonna talk to Shaggy here, and Redbeard is gonna chase after us, and this is essentially an auto-scroller. And I'm gonna use this chance to talk about what levels only is. But this basically we just kind of go through minigames. I'm basically just like continuously swiping right here, to get like little bits of speed boosts when I can, and just doing like really easy minigames. So I'm going to use this chance to explain what levels only is. So in the any % run of this game, there is basically 3 things you have to do in every world. You have to do the platforming level, which is what we've already been doing right now. We have to do a driving level, which we're not going to see at all today. And then there's also an end-of-level boss fight, which is very similar to what we're doing right now, except with just, like, use traps to actually catch the villain. Except, the boss fights here, we are, like, this is pretty much an auto-scroller, and the driving segments are, like, there's a little bit of skill involved, but there's, like, basically no tech. They're basically auto-scrollers. They're not very fun, and they make up, like, 25 minutes or so, or like 25 minutes or so of the run, or of the any % run, and it's not great. So I basically made levels only, so I could just be like, okay, I can run this beautiful game without having to do all that. But that actually wasn't an end-of-level boss fight. That was a mid-level boss fight. We actually have some level left to go. But this section of the level, I'm not kidding you, we're going to be out of here in like maybe 20-30 seconds. So we have like the whole like 7-minute platforming section, and then we have a boss fight, and then we have like a 1-minute platforming section. We're just gonna kind of make our way through. We just jump down all these stairs, jump through here, and a few more slides, and Ocean Land is done. They just kind of tacked that on at the end of the level. You're never gonna see kind of how levels only works. It's a very kind of arbitrary ruling where I'm literally just going to quit out and load up a new file. And this game is very nice. If you've at least beaten the game once, you can, whenever you load up a new file, you can start in any world you want, which is basically the only way this category actually works and why it can happen. So now in Abandoned Airfield, it's like my actual least favorite level of the run. It has the most like platforming, but also just like a lot of precise platforming with no drop shadow, and can be very costly if I do die. But as we did in Ocean Land, talk to our 3 suspects and make our way into the level. And yeah, this is easily the longest section of like actual platforming in the run. Now right here at the start, we're going to get introduced to the Chili Pepper. There are 3 food items in this game, which you can see on the bottom screen. All of them are useless. The Veggie Burger is supposed to make Scooby invisible, and I actually originally tried to route it into this game, but it turns out Scooby still takes knockback from enemies. So with there not really being any like fast ways to get a Veggie Burger, and like not really any good places to use it, it's useless. Now with Scooby's charge attack, there are some parts of this game where there's like obstacles we want to get around, and Scooby's charge attack is our fastest form of movement, but whenever he charges into something, he can actually just go up flying at a 90-degree angle, which is another reason why we avoid using it a lot. So we there's definitely points in this run where the bad field of view, and if you're like not super familiar with the levels, I am gonna play this safe. If you're not super familiar with the levels and accidentally charge into an obstacle which you maybe thought wasn't gonna be there but was just barely off screen, you can actually just go like flying to your death. And I thought the Veggie Burger would help with that, but no, it just negates damage and not knockback. The Chili Pepper increases Scooby's damage output against enemies, but enemies, there's like never a point where we actually want to kill them. And the Ice Cream Cone allows you to freeze enemies, which is another thing that we don't really have a use for. Enemies, we basically just jump all around them. Gonna be a little careful here. Okay. I'm not entirely familiar with how, obviously not the entire level loads in at once. I'm definitely not, super familiar with how the platform cycles work. These jumps right here can be really scary with just like, again, I don't think I mentioned it yet, but Scooby's like, we're doing his jumps, because that is like fastest form of regular movement, but his jumps are like also on basically ice physics. Not going for that. His jumps are basically on ice physics. And so, with a lot of the precise platforming we try to do, it just makes that so much more difficult. Which, like, Scooby's ground movement is on ice physics, but, yeah, his jumping is. So, that's fun. Chloe, do you want to explain how, clues and traps work in this game?
Yeah, so clues and traps are 2 collectibles that you can collect throughout the levels that you go through. And clues are basically things to help you find out who the boss is after you defeat them. And traps are used to fight the final boss in the world to get through them much easier. Kind of following the Mystery Inc. Sort of theme that obviously this game would want to show. But we actually don't use them in this category at all. Because as Snowy mentioned earlier when explaining what this category specifically is, we don't go through levels like the driving levels, which then lead you to actually where you defeat the boss and like watch the cutscenes, quote unquote, more so just like text speeches of who the final boss is. But we don't really go through those, and so we don't need to collect them. So you'll see them around when Snowy is hippity hoppity jumping around. So.
Yeah, it is funny that there are like quite a few of the actually like required clues and traps happen to just be like right in our way. So you actually do see me collect a few of them because like they just happen to be there, but we don't actually use them at all. There are three clues per world we would need in any percent, but luckily not here. we're just gonna make our way through the abandoned airfield. This is a decent time. If there's anything that needs to be read, this is pretty chill time.
Alright, yeah, I just wanted to pop in and make sure that everybody remembers what we are raising money for. We are raising money for Heartland Animal Shelter. Now remember, you can type in !donate to get that donation link where, you know what, you can donate as much as you like, especially towards the really cool incentives that we have. We actually just passed our first milestone. We passed HiG Undead total raised 163. We are at $200. Now you can also do !wish list, and that gives you a really nifty link where you can go ahead and pick out any food or medications, anything that the animal shelter actually put on their wish list. So just another really cool way to help out the animal.
Okay, and this section right here is really annoying because there are a ton of death planes all around here. So we need to absolutely make sure we go through this level as intended. We can't just like drop down to this platform I'm on right now, right at the start, because there is just a death plane there that will kill you. This part is actually brutal. They make you think you have to go all the way down there. If you go all the way down, you'll die. You just need to go to the left. I have definitely died there multiple times when running this game, before I like fully familiarize myself with these levels. We're just gonna keep making our way through here. This is definitely, like, easily the longest, like, level of the game. But we're also seeing here, even these, like, platforms falling up from under us, it's just really nice that, Scooby maintains both of his jumps, even when running off a platform. So it makes, a little, like, a nice little concession they made, on, like, instead of, fixing the ice physics or drop shadow. But at least there's that.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah. It's also really nice, it's also really weird in terms of which sections can be more difficult. I find that precise platforming is a lot harder when you're trying to do it vertically, just because, like, the depth perception can be it's really difficult to tell where exactly Scooby might be sometimes. But then there's also the fact that, when you're going, like, side to side, it's really hard to see what's in front of you. So, platforming is not easy at many points. But like in Oceanland, we have a boss fight here. This is the Space Kook, I believe. That is basically the same idea. We're gonna kind of run forward, do some easy mini-games. One thing I didn't mention in the Oceanland boss fight is there actually is one mini-game you'll see where Scooby and Shaggy like hide behind something. It's different in every world. In this one, I think it's tires. But it's one we intentionally lose. This one right here, I don't know how to solve this one. Honestly, I don't, but, we can afford to take the we can afford to take the damage. Like, straight up, I don't know how to do that one, but, everything else is easy, and we're fine. And we'll be fine on health. But sorry, I was talking about the one where Scooby and Shaggy try and hide. That is one you're supposed to, like, poke it's this one right here. Normally, they're gonna, like, poke out their limbs, and we're supposed to poke them back, so they don't get caught, but, this one we actually intentionally fail. Because it is just slightly faster. And that leaves us with just enough health to fail one other minigame, which is, luckily we can do here, because I don't know how to stop the propeller. And, yeah, that is it for the boss fight, and like in Oceanland, that's not an end-of-level boss fight, that's a mid-level boss fight. We still have a lot of level to go, and unlike Oceanland, this is not a 1-minute section. So we're just gonna keep making our way through. We're gonna get introduced to these crushers here, but they don't actually crush you. It's really weird. And we can also just, like, jump through them. So we don't have to worry about that. But level 3, or Abandoned Airfield is, like, easily the longest, like, has the most platforming of any world in this game. So we can luckily jump down right here. As opposed to other, oh my god. Enemy stop. The enemy will, like, stun you for, like, a tiny bit. It's not a huge time loss, but if you're trying to jump somewhere, it can be a little annoying. Here's one really nice section where we can actually, like, get a lot of use of Scooby's charge without being scared of running into something or falling into a pit. Gonna make sure I don't get hit by the hook. The hook, similar to oh my god, similar to some of the like sharks and like the ocean obstacles in Ocean Land. You can actually jump off of them if you get lucky, but again, not something we really want to rely on. Just because if you don't get it, you can very well just die. Here we go. Get in a trap there. It's not useless, or it's not useful at all. Here, let's see if we're gonna have the invisible enemy here. Here we go. There he is. Oh yeah.
Hey.
I don't know why, but that enemy will only sometimes doesn't spawn at all, and sometimes will only spawn in once you've gone past him. He's a little bit of a goof.
That's a silly guy.
Yeah. We're approaching the end of Abandoned Airfield now, though. It actually, like, for Abandoned Airfield, definitely still my least favorite level, but has a lot of vertical sections right here where we can actually just, like, use Scooby's charge, which is nice. But yeah, we're getting close to the end. If there's anything, if anything that needs to be read right now, pretty good time to do so.
Perfect timing, because we actually just got a $10 donation from Anonymous saying Scooby WWW is such a cursed game, but you know what? It's hilarious. Congrats on the PB last night, Zoe, and good luck on the round. Thank you so much, Anonymous.
Thank you. Okay, and with this, just a couple more charges, and we are done with Abandoned Airfield. So as we did earlier, we are going to just quit out and start up a new file in the next level we want to do. And now we're actually going, the order of the levels we actually do is 4, 3, 5, 2, 1. So Wolf's End Lodge here is actually intended to be the final level of the game. It's actually luckily the only level where we don't have to talk to a bunch of NPCs before entering the platforming level, which is nice, just saves us some time. We can just head right into there. And Coley, I'll have you explain enemies in this game.
Okay, so for most of this run, you've seen Snowy kind of just jumping, dashing along, you know, it doesn't really matter if he gets hit or anything. In fact, sometimes it helps him just propel a little bit further. But this level, no. Enemies are super strong. It's like King Kong versus Godzilla, where they just hit you just like a freight train. So Snowy's going to be really careful to dodge all these enemies here. They do about half of Scooby's health, I believe. Mm-hmm. And normally, it's just a really random sort of thing that the game designers decided to put in.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. As you can see there, it does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But then again, this is the final world, as Snowy mentioned. So kind of makes sense, but also a little bit questionable. But
we're gonna attempt
doing a good job this time.
We're gonna try and jump underneath a tree. There we go, got it.
Nice.
Normally you're intended to wait for that tree to fall as you hang out there with that blue-robed enemy that can deal a ton of damage. But yeah, you can actually just jump into that tree from underneath. So, not really something we have to worry about. Gonna head up here, let's see if we get a... Yeah, there we go. Sometimes enemies can spawn from those crates, and as you saw, that enemy just fell through the floor. Don't have to worry about them. Oh. And right here, we actually are approaching pretty quickly the end of the first section of Wolf's End Lodge. But we're not done with the level just yet, because we're gonna talk to Shaggy. And if this is anything like Ocean Land and Abandoned Airfield, talking to Shaggy leads to, once again, another boss fight. This time against the Ghost Hunter Haunter, I believe is their name. They're the original main bad guy for this game. But yeah, as usual, there's nothing happening. If anything needs to be read, yeah, it's a great time.
Alright, yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know what exactly we are raising money for. And Heartland's vision is to eliminate euthanasia for any adoptable animal. Their mission is to provide a no-kill shelter for the care, humane treatment, and adoption of lost, stray, and abandoned animals, and to find permanent, loving homes for the homeless animals with responsible pet ownership. So definitely go ahead and check out that Tiltify page, !donate. Or, you know, we have !wish lists that will once again give all those really goodies that they really do need. So go check out those links. There's still plenty of more to go.
We're just gonna make our way through here. The minigames don't really get harder with each boss fight, even with just like each world. Like I honestly can't say the World 5 boss fight is any harder than the World 4 or 3-1. Oh my god. Oh. We're fine. We're fine.
Oh my gosh. That did not look like you were fine.
I'm fine.
Wow.
Okay. Right here we're seeing I have to jump across this bridge because I can't charge across it because again Scooby's charge attack it just can't go on slopes. Scooby will just stop in his tracks, which is unfortunate. Oh. Yeah, basically every time I run this game, usually I'll find something new. Nothing like no useful speed tech, but just something new, jank new will happen. Yeah, it's a good time. This mine here is actually pretty much the only section of the run where where I will want to conserve my health, because there is a pretty hard to avoid blue-robed enemy coming up, and in addition to there's just a real lack of Scooby snacks. Oh, we didn't mention Scooby snacks heal your health in this game. They don't do very much individually, but they definitely add up. But a lot of the obstacles here, normally we just try and charge through for speed, but it can be pretty difficult to, right here, we're going to try and avoid a blue-robed enemy. This is definitely one of the most difficult parts here. Typically they kind of got that little, like, they gotta get angry first before they start chasing after you. Oh my god. Okay. Also, this lava here, just like with other obstacles in this game, you can jump off of it. As you saw me do a little bit earlier. But right here, gonna be sure. Luckily, I did avoid the blue-robed enemy, but there is another one coming up. In addition to just like various obstacles like that bucket there. There'll be some like falling rocks right here. But health management is like it's the only point. Here's basically the only point where we really care about making sure we don't get hit. And coming up right here, so that dude isn't too hard to avoid, but this next one is pretty annoying. And oh my god, that was very close, but I luckily was able to make it past that. Gonna make sure I have full height for that jump. I definitely, that jump can be deceptively difficult. And we got a checkpoint right there. That checkpoint is right before we talk to Shaggy, because this level doesn't have one, but it has 2 boss fights.
What a twist.
What happened? Why'd my game freeze? I don't know what's happening.
It's a new
I actually don't know what's happening. Sorry.
Said your game froze?
Okay, I must have accidentally hit some pause hotkey. We are fine. Okay.
I was like, did we just fight?
Alright.
Okay, yeah, we're fine. I don't know what I hit, but I hit some pause hotkey that I apparently have set. But we're fine. But as I was saying, we got another boss fight here. This is essentially the exact same as the last one we did. No difference. Yeah, it's amazing. We just have 2 of them in this level. And remember, we would normally do 5 extra boss fights if we were doing any percent. On top of the ones we already do in the levels.
Yeah.
So definitely, why I prefer levels only much more to any percent. Any percent is literally this, but with 25 minutes of extra downtime. Yeah, we're just gonna make our way through. This shouldn't be too much longer, and we're actually gonna see a new gameplay style soon.
Oh, I'm very excited for that.
Yeah. Because
I'm very excited.
Because spoilers, that wasn't an end of level boss fight. That was another mid-level boss fight.
Oh my goodness! What? I'm surprised.
But this level section is too much. And you all donated for this. We have the snowboarding section coming up. And you all donated for the stylus controls. And I'm gonna let Coley explain that come up here because stylus controls actually, oh my god, is like actually the hardest part of this game.
Oh yeah, it is. I'm so happy that I get to talk about this. So here we have a snowboarding section, and there are 2 of these in the game. We're gonna see another one in the next level after Wolf's End Lodge. And so basically you could see that Snowy is just making his way downtown, dodging the snow in the trees that are homebound. If you really want to do an IL of this, there's a timer. So for all you Mario Kart guys out there, if you want to race or something, you can get a leaderboard going. That'd be pretty dope. But as you can see, Snowy, the main controls, it's pretty simple. It's just steering to the left and right. And then he can also jump and do a crouch. And the big time loss in this specific snowboarding... Oh, you gotta love this game. Oh, these are probably my favorite moments to watch of the run because it just can become so chaotic. But the big time loss here for this run is if Snowy falls into the pits. Like as you saw him just pass over now, if he falls in a pit like that, then he will lose all the time that you see on the timer on the screen, and a little bit more because he actually goes all the way back to the start of this section. So it is a huge time loss if you actually fall or die. But Snowymoogle is a pro gamer, and he's doing pretty good right now. Health is full, and okay. Yeah, we're edging towards the end of this section here.
Yeah, we should be coming up soon. I know this normally takes about like a minute 40. Oh my god. Okay, I think I did this without getting hit, which is really nice. I don't know if my cursor is showing up on the stream, but yeah, you can see me try and move around. Ghost Hunter is gonna show up, laugh at us. That's it. That's the cutscene. And we're done with Wolf's End Lodge. And yeah, with that, we are gonna head over to Sugarland, which is intended to be the second level of the game. It is actually the level with, I think, the most like skips and tricks in the run. But unlike Wolf's End Lodge, we have to go back to talking to NPCs before we enter the level. So I'm gonna quickly do that. One thing is you can actually notice Daphne has a little like text box above her, and you can actually talk to her accidentally. And I've definitely done that before, and it wastes a good, like, 5-ish seconds if you do that. And I'm definitely, like, you're mashing... You gotta activate the text with the touch screen. So you definitely mash that as it's appearing on screen. You can see I'm hitting it before the face even comes up. But we're gonna head into Candyland now. Or Sugarland. And the first part is this boring, drab chocolate silo. I don't know what they were thinking. But, yeah, this section isn't too interesting. We get introduced to the ice cream here. Again, the first 3 levels of this game are each supposed to introduce their own food item. But coming here, Chloe, would you like to explain Pipe Skip?
Yeah, so this is one of those rare moments in this game where we can actually skip some portions of the level, and you'll see it just right here. There you go. That was super quick. Just jumping on an invisible ledge where the pipe is by that, I don't even remember the cotton candy monster. I don't remember the specific name for that, but just a quick 20-minute skip. Pretty simple. Yeah, for all you Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed fans out there, the cotton candy monster is an enemy in this level. But yeah, Pipe Skip was actually found by Baz, who is another great Scooby runner. He doesn't even run this game, but he's like, hey, try that. And I was like, sure, and it worked. And we saved like 20 seconds. Here's another skip. We're just gonna jump over to this elevator. And head up here. Sometimes the elevators can be a little bit finicky. You'll see them like go down a tiny bit as I'm approaching the top. Yeah, thank you, DS touchscreen controls. Going past another cotton candy monster, just gonna run past him. And we're gonna take this elevator all the way to the top. And Chloe is gonna take over again because we have another snowboarding level, which I will be using touchscreen for. Gotta love these snowboarding sections. I also forgot to mention that normally when you're speedrunning this game, you would just use the D-pad, which is significantly easier. You're basically just going down the lazy river when you got a D-pad, but with this, it is just janky controls, and that's just so fun to watch for me personally. But there are actually no gaps in this level in which Snowy can fall. The bigger issue is just going to be conserving his health when having to duck and to jump. As we mentioned, these are stylus controls. They are not the greatest controls known to man. So it's sometimes Scooby just doesn't decide to crouch, doesn't decide to jump. Sometimes you can see Snowy crouch underneath a pipe or something, and he still gets hit. And it's very fun to watch, but I don't think it'd be quite as good to do. And right now we're actually in the chocolate silo that we were climbing up, and I'm not a farmer, or like I'm not Willy Wonka, but I don't know what kind of silo this specifically is. I don't know what kind of engineering degree these people had for making the silo, but yeah, we're just making our way down here. This snowboarding section is a little bit longer than the one in Wolf's End Lodge, and towards the end of the level, there is a bit... Oh, here's one difficult part that Snowy just made through. Very nice. Jumping a lot, and then there's going to be a little bit more of a part where he has to jump and crouch a lot, one after the other. But Snowy has really good health right now. Things are looking good for Snowy. Let's make it happen.
Alright, can I cut in for just 1 second?
Sure.
Alright, I want to say thank you to Abel Keen. I am so sorry if I mispronounced that. For that $20 donation saying, great run, Snowy. Really enjoyed your GDQ run too. Thank you so much for that donation. Remember, guys, !donate or !wishlist will get you those links, and every little bit helps.
Nice. Okay, I think that was a hitless. That was a hitless. Like, yeah. I didn't get hit at all. That's actually amazing. With this is definitely very scary when I was practicing this, and it's actually like amazing. I don't know how like easy it is to tell just by watching, but it is insanely hard to control that. Here we're doing a zip here. We're just gonna jump down. Very careful. One thing here is Scooby actually will get a little bit of momentum when jumping up or down with these platforms. So we can use that to jump. I'll head in a few sections. Another thing here is with charging and jumping normally being our fastest forms of movement. Right here, it's just kind of running on these conveyor belts, because they'll propel us forward when we're on the ground. The charge is a little bit scary to use here, just because there's so many obstacles on these conveyor belts, and Scooby can definitely risk just flying off to the side. So we just stick with running on them. And you'll also hear Scooby say ow a lot, because we're just going to damage boost through a lot of these obstacles, because health really isn't a concern here. But making our way through. But yeah, this level basically has definitely concentrated more towards the start. Has like some of the most like skips per level. I'm gonna be safe. Normally we can jump straight to that conveyor belt, but for safety, we're gonna grab that checkpoint. Luckily, still nothing too deadly up ahead here. But yeah, these enemies, you're just gonna listen to their noises as we run past them. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, haven't been down here before, but we're just gonna make our way back up. Yeah, that cotton candy monster. Oh, he did get me. I was about to say he can't get us, but as he hits me, so I stand corrected.
The more you know.
But yeah, right here, just gonna literally just run through all these. Scooby's just gonna say ow a whole bunch as we make our way through. These crushers luckily don't one-shot you, but there's definitely one point where if you charge into them, Scooby will go off to the side. These crushers, though, these actually do one-shot you. Though, coincidentally, with the way the cycle's up, you're, like, almost never at a risk of getting hit by them. So, that's really nice. Here's definitely a part where I would like to try and charge more, but it's just, like, the timing with these can be really tight, and if you accidentally smack it on, you straight up die, and are losing, like, 20 or so seconds, I want to say. Heading through here, yeah, definitely just a whole bunch of conveyor belts, and we have a very annoying jump coming up. Definitely, like, this is the very end of Sugarland, and it really sucks that this point comes at the very end. So right here, depth perception at its finest. Okay. That is one
Nice.
of the scariest jumps in the run. Just because it's so easy to overextend. And just like with every other world in this game, talking to Shay is going to lead us to a boss fight. And I call this the Osu boss fight because every minigame here is either tapping circles, spinning a circle, or just mashing. So it's pretty much just that. But yeah, if anything, is anything to be read, now is a good time to do so.
Alright, thank you so much. Nothing really right now. Just once again, exclamation point donate for that donation link, and exclamation point for that wish list for that wish list link. Definitely get them in. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, just gonna make our way through again. Every minigame we do here is essentially, well, except for this, is like an Osu minigame. Yeah, again, intentionally losing it because it's just slightly faster than succeeding in it. And just tap all those bubbles. And now, yeah, basically the minigames actually get, like, progressively harder in the middle of them, but not between separate boss fights. It'll essentially reset when you go to the end of level boss fight. But that is actually, unlike the other levels, that's actually an end of level boss fight. So we are done with Sugarland. And we actually only have one more level left, which is Haunted Hotel, the intended first level of the game. And this is actually the shortest world of the game. This world only takes like 6 or so minutes. Which is definitely like quite a bit shorter than literally every other world. And there's also quite a bit more dialogue to go through because this is supposed to be like kind of an intro to who we're going to be working with throughout the game. It's not just Mr. Ink, but a bunch of other people that I don't remember who they are. There's another case where I want to make sure we talk to the potential suspect and not Daphne. But yeah, again, talking to 3 NPCs. Ooh, that cat can sometimes mess you up, or the robot cat. And here we go. There's quite a few tutorials at the start here, like right there. But heading in here, we're gonna head into Haunted Hotel. Yeah, the first level, where we're essentially just gonna charge a whole bunch to the right while going through tutorials at the end of the run here. Oh, yeah, as you saw, Scooby-Doo just went off a little bit towards the screen there. Oh my god. Yeah, we also get introduced to the Veggie Burger here, which is actually the level I want to route the Veggie Burger in, because there's a section where Scooby would normally want to charge through obstacles, like those doors there. But again, it doesn't actually make Scooby fully invincible, it just makes him not take damage. These beds here are trampolines, so we're going to use them to get a little bit of height. Right there you can see a trap. We don't need it because this is levels only. And yeah, we kind of just go right. Haunted level is probably my favorite level in the run. Or Haunted Hotel. Oh, Scooby? Okay. I'm not going to land. Gotta go back a bit. Right here, taking advantage of the fact that we retain both of our jumps while running off a platform, which is very nice. And just gonna keep making our way here. There's luckily a section I know it is safe to just charge across. I saw Scooby go a little bit towards the screen, I got a little bit scared there, but luckily we're fine. There's a section that's very annoying, just because the way this curved hallway works. There's a lot of sections where I'd normally want to charge, but it can be a little bit difficult at times. So I'm mostly just gonna like jump over gaps and not worry about that. And right here is, no, not here. Here we're just gonna jump on some carts, which are gonna give us a little bit of height to get access to here. Here's another section where you want to be very cautious not to charge, because if Scooby actually like runs into a wall of charging, like if I charge right there before jumping onto that wood, Scooby would actually just fall to his death. He would go off to the side. It's definitely very weird, however they programmed the charge attack. Right here is one of the most brutal sections when you're first learning the run, because normally you'd want to just charge, but you can either run into a door like right there and fall to your death because it would knock you there, or there's a pit right here. So, very mean section of the run. But speaking of mean sections, Clay, do you want to know the platforms coming up?
Yeah, so there's actually some platforms up ahead, and I want to remind you guys that this is the first level of the entire game. So when you pop this into your DS and you start playing it, these platforms right here, they're not lined up very well vertically, and these are a huge challenge to jump across. And Snowy makes this look so easy, but I personally tried picking up this game. It just, I couldn't do it. I was just like, you know what? Maybe this game isn't quite for me. So whoever could do those platforms, I salute you.
I've definitely seen people try and pick this game up for memes, and that is where their runs end. Not because they, like, it's so bad.
Yeah.
And again, this is intended to be the first level of the entire game. Luckily, here is another point I know where it is safe to charge. Nothing to get in our way, luckily. I'm just gonna jump over those enemies. Don't really want to worry about them, and we're gonna head deeper into the hotel. And Coley, do you want to talk about I guess, what is underneath the hotel here?
Well, I'm not a hotel manager, but and I know this is called the Haunted Hotel, but I just think this is a little bit ridiculous. You're gonna see columns just jumping in and out, the undead popping out of coffins, swinging very unsturdy floors. And I like the aesthetic, I guess, fitting with the horror-ible games.
Yeah.
But
we have skeletons in cages. I don't know how safe that is.
Yeah, it's like, do I really want to be staying the night here? Like, am I gonna be one of them soon?
They have a literal catacombs underneath the hotel. So I don't know if I'd be worried about just the dude terrorizing the place. With the literal dead bodies down here.
Very true. Yeah.
We're actually gonna make our way up here, and we are actually approaching like the end of the run. There is this is actually the only level of the game where there is no mid-level boss fight. So yeah, well, we only have like I think less than 2 minutes left in the run. Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna make our way over here, do a little bit of platforming. This area is surprisingly tricky for platforming. Not that right there, but this. Oh my god, I almost missed that jump. And yeah, spacing your jumps is really important because again, we want to jump as much as we can because it is faster than ground movement. But you also want to make sure you have enough space like to be able to land and then jump. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm not going too far down there. But I think this is actually it for the run. It's a little bit anticlimactic, but when we fade in here, it's going to be time. And 3, 2, 1, time. Alright, so, yeah, so it's definitely a little bit of an anticlimactic finish to the run, but that is essentially how Levels Only is. Want to do the 5 platforming levels of this game. And, yeah, those are the 5 platforming levels. So that is it. I want to give like a few shoutouts. One to Coley for being here. He definitely he doesn't run this game, but he definitely studied up to learn and help out tonight.
Yeah.
Shout out to like just the Scooby community in general for just being super warm and welcoming and supporting. And just a huge shout out to the Horrible Games crew for putting on this marathon and allowing me to show off this amazingly horrible game to all of you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was an awesome run. And let me tell you, those keypad snowboarding, or touchscreen snowboarding, so worth it. So worth it. But yeah, thank you so much for this awesome run. Now, can you tell us, Snowy, where exactly can we find you?
Ooh, okay, so you can find me on just twitch.tv/Snowymoogle, where, yeah, I speedrun various games on there, and, yeah, picking up a variety of games, so, yeah, check me out there if you want to see, more of my speedrunning content.
Alright. Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and prep for our next run from the good Jake Word doing Dead to Rights Reckoning PSP, any percent. Now, lovely chat. It is where I unfortunately have to say goodbye for the evening, but fear not, you are going to be in wonderful hands. You're going to have Playful being your awesome host for the next couple hours, and I will be back super early in the morning. So thank you to everybody who came out, and don't forget to get those donations in.